Jacques Cousteau once said, "For most of history, man has had to fight nature to survive. In this century, he is beginning to realize that in order to survive, he must protect it." Now, if you followed any of my previous videos about scuba diving in the reef, you know my passion really lies with the ocean. For instance, did you know we need O2 in order to survive? I know it sounds absolutely insane that we would need oxygen in order to survive. Come to find out, we actually need this. Now, did you know, though, that reefs supply over 50% of the world's O2 supply? It's a little hard to fathom, isn't it? So, basically what I'm trying to tell you is, without reefs, we'd all be facing mass extinction as a human population. Now, that's something that you really need to realize. In my 20 years of diving, I've unfortunately seen our reefs being destroyed year in and year out, and it's really disheartening. So what I'm saying is, without our reefs, we would die. Sound a little dramatic? Well, by the end of this video, I believe you're going to agree with me that we really need to protect our reefs. But there is hope. As humans, we're also resilient creatures. Here's some facts about recycling, which is something that we do every day and we really take for granted. The average person in the US recycles 34.3% of their compostable food. Now imagine if we were able to raise this to 50%. What would that be? And what would that look like? Well, compost would go from 167 million tons to 127 million tons in the US alone. Now, as I said before, we are a resilient species, and some of our brightest minds, our scientists and our engineers, are working on ways to help with the environment, from solar and wind power, which is renewable energy, to new ways of recycling, and to make it easier for you and me to recycle every day. So if you can, it's always good to try to recycle more, to seek out new energy sources, and also something as simple as turning off the light. Now, there's even something more that we can do as humans. We can be just more conscious of what we do every day and what effect it has on our environment, especially the reefs. As I said before, if you followed my series throughout this semester, you would know last time I showed you two pictures. The first one was of a healthy reef, and the second one was of a dying reef. Unfortunately, that second picture is becoming more and more prevalent every single day. In fact, every time I go diving on the same sites, year in and year out, I'm just seeing more and more devastation. So my challenge to everybody out there is take a step back, breathe in a deep breath, and realize how much that of what you just inspired came from our reefs. Now imagine for a minute if that inspiration was a little bit harder to take a deep breath in, or maybe you weren't getting the O2 levels you needed. It would make a very grim day for everybody. The other thing you can also do is think of just your everyday actions. How would it affect our reefs? How would it affect what we do in our everyday lives? The economic implications of, just for Florida alone, is billions of dollars every year. Now, if you were watching this and you remember back towards the beginning of the video, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions to see if you remember what you had heard. First one is, how much O2 is produced by the reefs worldwide? Did you answer 50%? You're making me one proud individual today. How about, how much does the average person in the United States recycle? If you guessed 34.3%, you're right again. Now look, the comment before about species going extinct and possibly human race going extinct sounds a little extreme, but if we really don't take action, that's very much where we're heading in the next couple thousand years, or if not sooner. So, I'm challenging you to challenge yourself to recycle more. Turn off the lights when you're going out of the room. Maybe turn down your AC when you're leaving the house or going on vacation. The point is, there is so much that you can do through your everyday process. Make sure you're recycling more. Hit that 50% goal that I was talking about before. In closing, I'm going to give you a quote, another one from Jacques Cousteau. Water and air the two essential fluids in which all life depends on, have become global garbage cans. Jacques Cousteau. Year in and year out, and it's really disheartening. The However, in this century, man has begun to. I'm waiting to make my speak for a living.